Hello, my name is Mr. J3T, aka Big Sexy, aka the Kentucky Cannon, aka the World Class Badass, aka Chocolate Thunder with a Caramel Swirl, aka Black Lightning with a Peanut Butter Filling, and y'all know the rest. So, hello there. Today we're going to be talking about a new-ish anime called Frieren Beyond Journey's End. So, I say new-ish because this anime came out last year, I believe, and as I'm recording this, Season 2 is already happening. So, I'm a little late to the party. I'm a little late to the Frieren party, but better late than never. So, yeah. So, Frieren Beyond Journey's End, or just Frieren for short, is about an elf named Frieren and her journey after herself and the hero's party, everybody in her hero's party, defeated the Demon King, or the Demon Lord, right? And as she's going on this journey and her life afterwards, she slowly learns to appreciate life, you know? Because since she's an elf, she has a much longer lifespan than us mere humans. So she kind of, taking life for granted a little bit. So as she goes on this journey, she's beginning to, appreciate the little things, appreciate life. And yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, like I said, I'm a little late to this anime because, like I said, it just came out last year. I finally got around to watching it because I was looking for other stuff to watch, because I don't know about y'all, but I'm kind of getting tired of just being on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. So, I'm kind of getting tired of those, apps. So I've been watching a lot of anime recently, hence all the anime videos. So yeah, I gave it a watch because I just wanted something else, something different to watch, and it's ongoing too. So yeah, and so far I gave it a 3-episode test. I explained before, I give each show that I watch a good old 3-episode test, and if I'm not vibing with it till at least the 3rd episode, then it's not for me. So I like it so far. It's a lot different than the usual anime. It's a kind of a bit of a slower paced than other animes that I'm watching, and let's face it, I'm used to. It's definitely a bit of a slower pace. It's definitely more character driven. I will say the animation is very beautiful. Like, the animators put the ankle in this animation, or I should say the animators haven't seen their families in a minute for this one. Yeah, the animation is great, top tier, like, mwah, 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 mwah. Couldn't ask for better animation. But yeah, it's a lot more character focused and a lot more character driven and a lot more story driven than most other animes. I read a comment that that's true. It's a slice of life, but with fantasy elements, and I read that and I was like, that's the perfect way to describe this. It's a slice of life with fantasy and action elements. So, because like I said before, when I was describing this, when we first see Frieren, they're coming back to the kingdom after they defeated the Demon Lord. And I'm just like, okay, that caught me off guard, because usually in other animes, then their journey to fight and beat this Demon Lord would be the season, right? That would be a whole season, a whole series, right? But the first episode, they did that. So then they kind of branch off to each individual member of the heroes party, Frieren, the main hero, Himmel, the priest, and the this little barbarian, yeah, they'll all be on screen. They all split off to go live their separate lives, right? And I could tell that this is going to be one of those animes that tugs on your heartstrings a little bit, because Frieren, with her being an elf and her living such a longer life than humans, she sort of like starts to like, should I say it? I mean, I think, whatever. So, yeah, she says that she'll come back after like 50 years and they'll go on one last journey, right? One last adventure. And as she comes back and she sees that everybody's older, she's not like on. She has a different perspective about life since her life is much longer. This journey took them 10 years, and Freerunner's like, that's not nearly enough time. But yeah, they all eventually do come back and go on this last adventure. Himmel, the hero, he's this a lot older now, and like eventually when he passes, I think Frieren realizes that at that moment that it's like, wow, this, I barely knew him, so as she goes on this journey, she says, I want to learn more about humans, or learn more about human life, and appreciating the time you have with the people you care about, so it's, I wouldn't necessarily say sad, but it's bittersweet, the party, each member of the hero's party, the people that she traveled with, the people she defeated the demon lord with, friends, as they get older and eventually die, she stays, and it's like, yeah, it's bittersweet. I say bittersweet because they didn't die in what's the word? They didn't die with regrets, is what I'm trying to say. They died happy, and I'm gonna talk more about that as we talk about other characters. But yeah, Himmel, for example, he was just, as he was like an old man, he says that like he thanks Frieren for giving him one last adventure, and then afterwards he bites the dust, and I was just like, damn, yeah, he's dead, but on the other hand, he lived a long life, and he went on one last adventure with his people, his day ones. So yeah, it's sad, but also kind of happy in a way. A same sort of situation with the priest, there's this priest character. He's an alcoholic. In fact, Frieren calls him the corrupt priest, and he's also knocking on death's door, and we see that he has this little girl, right? I think Fern, I believe her name is, and at first he says, "Hey, Frieren, can you like take this little girl under your wing, let her travel with you?" And at first Freeland's like, no, but then he he tricks her into doing that. So yeah, these characters have a lot more depth to them, like you would expect the priest to be like some high and mighty thing, but he's an alcoholic and he doesn't mind like going below the belt sometimes to get what he wants. Himmel, for the most part, he is like this, your standard hero, right? The guy with a heart of gold, wants to save everybody, wants to protect everybody, but because Frieren actually knew him, actually knew like the seen him behind the scenes, we learn that he's a bit prideful, a little arrogant, if you will. He saved a village, right? And they wanted to build a statue of him. And Frieren explains that he spent 18 hours thinking of different poses to thinking of all these poses, just driving the sculptor crazy, right? So he's a bit prideful. He's well, would you really call it like arrogant if you could back it up? Is it arrogance if you could back it up? Yeah, so there's more layers to him. There's more layers than just being the hero. There's more layers to the priest than just being this holy priest, you know? Honestly, the one character that from Frieren's original party that we didn't get to see most, that we don't really know that much about, or at least I don't know much about now, is the little barbarian. I don't really know much about him now. Maybe they'll explore more about his character as I continue to watch. But yes, I honestly wish that we got to see more of Frieren's original party, but as she goes on this quest, she starts to get this new party, form more people around her. Like I said, Fern, the priest's apprentice, Frieren takes Fern under her wing, and she's training her in magics and how to be a mage and all that. In fact, the third episode, they defeat a villain from Frieren's original party couldn't beat, you know? They go back to a village and they beat that same villain, because this villain was way too strong at the time, and Frieren had to seal the villain, but years later, obviously the seal got weaker, so they had to come back and defeat it, right? So I kind of like their burgeoning relationship. Fern as a character, I will say, I don't really know that much about her. Like, I've seen clips on like TikTok and all that, but they're out of context, and from what I've seen of Fern from those out of context scenes, as I continue, I'm going to get context for those scenes, but out of context, she seems like a character that I'm gonna have to get used to, because from the scenes that I've seen of her, it shows her kind of being a little bit unlikable. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get used to her character. But a character that I'm really kind of looking forward to seeing is Stark. There's a character, Stark, right? He's gonna be like the warrior of the group. He hasn't been introduced yet in those 3 episodes. I think I read somewhere that he's gonna be introduced in episode 5. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him, because he's kind of like a Zenitsu type of character. For those of you that watch anime and know Demon Slayer, he's kind of a Zenitsu type of character. He's a bit scared, you know, not really confident in his own abilities. But in my opinion, from what I've seen, from the scenes that I've seen of him, out of context, he seems to be Zenitsu but better, you know? Whereas Zenitsu, I haven't really watched Demon Slayer like that, but from what I've seen of Zenitsu, Zenitsu kinda seems like annoying in a way. Like, he always screams, always cries. The only time he's cool is when he's asleep and he fights. But with Stark, or Stark, how they pronounce it in the anime, Stark, he has a lot better writing. Like, he has these cool moments when he's not asleep, unlike Zenitsu, and he rises to the occasion. Now he faces his fears, gets more confident in himself, and it's like, it's cool. It's cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him. I think he's going to be one of my favorite characters personally. Again, out of the scenes that I've seen of him out of context, I liked him, and he seems like he's going to be one of my favorites. Now, it also has a little bit of comedy, so there's one thing I want to talk about, because there's this little in fantasy stuff, there's like a little treasure chest, right? They call it you think it's a treasure chest, but surprise, it's actually a monster. I think they call it a mimic. And there seems to be a running gag in the show where Frieren, she falls for this mimic treasure chest, and it's kind of funny, you know. So yeah. Now, speaking of Frieren, she's like I said, an elf, lives a long time. Now, when we first see her, she's kind of reserved, doesn't really show that much emotion. But as like the hero, as her members of her original party, you know what I'm trying to say, as members of her original party start to get old and die, she starts to like sort of, you know, sort of embrace humanity more, embrace life, not take things for granted, because as she lives so much longer, she has a different perspective on life than us mere mortal fleshbag humans. So yeah, it's cool to see her like progression, you know. I'm looking forward to see where that progression goes. But yeah, so far I like it. It has a lot of bittersweet moments, you know, but also it also has a lot of chill moments. You know, it's just a chill anime. Some people may find it a little boring, but for me, I like it so far. And I'm gonna continue it. One, because I'm kind of interested in it. And another reason, because I just want other stuff to watch besides YouTube and TikTok. So yeah, for now I give it a 2 thumbs up. For now, at least. We'll see if it gets that J3T stamp of approval as the show goes on. But yeah, that's really about it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. But if you really like me, then consider subscribing and ring that bell so you always know whenever I upload, because it is free. Don't be a dum-dum. Subscribe today. Deuces.